Hello and welcome back. We are right in the middle of finding out more white-haired girl thoughts, I guess. more action, more rapidly developing news from the house in Fata Morgana. Let's jump right into it. If I'm going to make my move, I must do so soon. I don't have much time. The master of the house isn't around, so next in line would be him. That painting. Well, I guess we didn't get too much of that. Show's over. Oh. Right. Despite his near devastation by Nellie's news, Mel's flaxen eyes continued to wander in hopes of catching sight of the girl. Unfortunately, the house was too big. By now, it should be quite obvious to you what Mel was feeling. Emotional devastation, for the boy himself was having difficulty comprehending the things going through his heart. Like an arrow and a sword, maybe even a whip in there. Emotionally, he was horribly unstable, like a ship without a sail. And still, every time he spotted the white-haired girl, his heart would leap, his whole body jitter with anxiety and excitement. He had never felt anything like this before, and as such, he struggled to keep those strange feelings in check. I know that's not what it said, but I'm just going to roll with whatever I'm saying. Whenever he saw an opportunity, Mel would speak to the white-haired girl. And days he was unable to, he either spent in secluded silence or a distracted daze. Love is a curious thing. It has the power to change those who experience it. When he did manage to approach her, he tripped over his tongue. It hurt really bad. Again and again he talked to her, and again he stumbled. I imagine if you were to take him to see a romance at the theater in his present state, he would cry just as much as little Nellie. We cry at tragedies because we draw parallels with our own lives. At least, that is what I think. Great tales of romance attain true gravity with the audience only when they are personally familiar with love. In any event, the white-haired girl was, as a result of this, visibly perturbed. She was delighted that he was being so kind to her, but confusion overpowered every other emotion. She appeared to be at a loss for what to do as he clumsily catapulted words and stares at her. But Mel did not back down, though he probably knew not what caused such fiery emotion to erupt from within his breast. One's first love, in particular, tends to burn like a wildfire. Are you familiar with this sensation, Master? Oh? Did I answer that, or I guess I did. Ah. There she is. Is she cleaning? No, it looks like she's reading. It's now or never. I only get one chance per day to bug the shit out of her. Especially while she's on the job. Oh, okay. Mel, you need a... let's get a few inches apart. Boo! Ah! Oh, we're on this side now. Ah, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, except for the fact that I did. What are you fucking talking about? Lord Mel, you're very clearly meant to scare me. Because you just wouldn't notice me. Notice me, damn it. What are you reading? You look pretty engrossed. Oh, just dark secrets and spells. Written by Dracula himself. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have asked for permission. It's fine, no need to apologize. Feel free to read whatever you want, and you're welcome to bring books back to your room if you'd like to spend more time with them. But I was just amazed that the mansion had a library. Well, of course, the mansion! What sort of mansion wouldn't have a library room? It must have been a lot of work to collect all these books. There are some pretty old books in here, too. Oh, yeah, I guess it's the time where, I think they mentioned it, like, in one of the first episodes I did of this, where it's like, printing was pretty rare. So, I guess it actually is pretty impressive, I'll admit. The story is, in fact, following through on the world it's set up. There's some pretty old books in here, too. Your grandfather's? Some that he collected, and some even older than that. Take a look at this. I think it's a diary, but it's not from this country. Or this century, for that matter. Maybe a feudal lord? Haha, here he's complaining about the quality of the harvest. Can this forsaken land only produce over-sour grapes? Ah, if only the largest of the, Barney? Or maybe Barnier? If only the largest of the Barnier estates were mine instead. The land there is so much more suitable to cultivation. There you have it. Oh, wait. It is dawning on... Oh, never mind. I was about to say, if she's in the library, I was wondering if she can actually read. Maybe she can. Maybe she's just putting on a ploy. You can read this, Lord Mel. More or less. I've looked it over several times already, so that wasn't too difficult. Why would such an old book be here? Although it is from like a century ago, so maybe they are using like... I think you said it was from a foreign land too, right? So I guess Mel must know many languages. Or the book's written in English, or something. Whatever language this would be. I'm not sure! It and all of this was already here when I moved into the mansion. Although in my headcanon, we are definitely like in the heart of of England land. Of England. The land of the Angs. Have you not lived here your whole life? I was born at our estate. But to me and Nellie, this is more like our home. We moved when I was still young, and we've lived here ever since. Nellie and Mother have both grown quite fond of it. Father, though, often goes back to the house because he doesn't like all the roses. Can you believe that man? By himself? Oh wait, that's Nellie's voice, not... Shut up, Nellie. I'm talking to the maid. Yeah, well, sometimes Mother goes with him. But for the most part, he goes alone. But don't get me wrong, it's not because they don't get along. In fact, they act more like teenagers in love than grown adults. It almost makes me sick having to watch it. It is a wonderful thing to be so close, no matter how old they may be. True, but still. There are those in the world who cannot be with the ones they care for as much as they wish. Yeah, I'm just now realizing maybe I should give this girl a different accent, considering she is from a foreign land. Or maybe just everyone that steps into this world and into this visual novel is just automatically British. Over the top British. Sorry about that. Be really funny if I gave her like a redneck accent. Oh, that's right, the book. What were you reading? I, wasn't exactly reading. I do not enjoy reading lots of text, so I was looking at the pretty pictures. Alright, we're not going down that route. Is that so? You seem very cultured, so I thought you would be partial to reading. Perhaps you're actually more like Nellie and eschew your studies. Yes, whatever that word meant. I know what it means, but you know. I know what it means. It means to shrug off. Ah, I wouldn't have guessed. But you like looking at pictures? Don't know why the gears in my brain stopped on that one. It's a very simple sentence. I do. What else do you like? What? What do you enjoy doing? You ask me this every day, and I give you the same answer. It can be anything. I enjoy being told stories. Stories? But that's for babies. Read a book instead. Yes, when I was young, my father would tell me tales. What kind of stories did you like? There was one about an imprisoned girl, which I currently feel like right now talking to you in this book maze. Tell it to me. Spend hours telling it to me. Once there was a girl, and she was locked away in a mansion deep in the forest. A mansion with only one window. But the window sat high up on the wall, far beyond her reach. So it was always very dark inside, unlike this mansion. However, the girl did not like the outside world. There were lots of scary things out there, after all. Though she may have been all alone in her mansion, she grew comfortable with the darkness in time, so she had nothing to be afraid of. And then... am I doing a good job? You're doing fine! Not quite as good as me, but keep going! What happens next? Okay. And then, the girl grew up. By then, she had already forgotten why she was locked up, but she was content with the darkness. However, her eyes couldn't help but be drawn to the little bit of light that spilled through one of the windows. Through the window. Much different than saying one of the windows. Though she was comfortable in the darkness, the sight of the light made her heart race. At first, the girl thought it was because she found it unpleasant, because she disliked the light and the outside. But slowly she came to realize that she was curious about the outside world. What could be happening out there? For all she knew, the town, the forest, the people, all of it could have changed while she was imprisoned in the mansion. But she had no way of finding out. Excuse my burp. So the girl decided to write letters and throw them out the window. What began as empty grasping became routine, continuing for several months until she was finally ready to give up. But then, a beautiful white dove flew in through the window. Tied to the dove's leg was a letter. Her heart racing, she read the words contained within. It seemed to have been written by a man. The letter contained numerous questions for the girl. Are you into men? It also said that if she attached a reply to the dove, it would bring the letter back to him. No. She was astonished, but she wrote him back anyway, taking care not to mention where she was. After having exchanged letters a number of times, the two felt very close to each other, as though they had known each other for many years despite having never met. And eventually, the man became the dove. Said he wanted to meet her. Indeed. The girl was unsure what to do. Should she tell him of how she lived? Should she reveal where she spent her days? She was afraid if she did, he would cease to send her letters. She was sure she believed her to be a young lady of noble blood, and not a girl locked away in a house deep in the forest. The girl could not bring herself to write a response. She released the dove through the window with nothing attached to its leg, and yet it returned with another letter, written in the man's familiar hand. You must surely have a grave reason for your silence, it said. I would like to know that reason, and I would like to help you. No matter what it may be, you have my word. She deliberated. Those letters were kind. She did not know this man. He was from the outside. Would he still treat her the same way when he met her? And did she even want to step out into the world beyond? What do you think she did? Well, maybe answer that question next time on Hooky Hour. So until then, I'll see ya. Bye.